That's My Word Podcast, an Umbrella Entertainment Productions, with your host, Uncle Will. Join us while we deal with a variety of life topics. So, without further ado, that's my word. What's up, everyone? It's Uncle Will. And look, I want to first say thank you for tuning in into this week's episode of That's My Word Podcast. Man, it feels good to be back. Right now, I'm a little under the weather, so I may have to take a pause for the calls every now and then just to take me a sip of water. But anyway, before we get started, please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the show. Click the link and also click that little ding bell so you can get updates on new and different things that I upload onto the channel. I'm working on a lot of different little things that I got in development behind the scenes that I'm looking to drop at the top of the year. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, this week's topic is like a taboo in the black community, or should I say in all urban communities. The topic is snitch, right? So, the word snitch, the origin, it goes back to the early 19th century, originating here in the U.S., okay? Now, back in the 18th century, it used to refer to, or should I say, it descended from the word like snake or sneak. But then later in the 19th century, it started to be defined as a person that informs on someone or talk to authorities, right? And so when you relate the word snitch in the urban community, it comes off as like a you're dishonorable. And that's what I want to talk about. Why is that? Why, if a person tell on someone that committed a heinous crime in your community, that person isn't respected by criminal elements or by certain people in the community? Now, what I want to do is I want to approach it in like the pros and the cons of the word snitch, okay? I'm going to do something a little bit backwards. I'm going to go through the cons of it, right? And how it affects us. So, the cons. When you go back in history as far as police brutality, it doesn't work well for us, right? And so we didn't get fair trials or whatever. So you're going to inform on someone that committed a crime in your community or that you know of, and you expect justice to be delivered. You want it to be delivered the same form that you would deliver it to a white person. Excuse me, sorry about that. Now, the question though, with that con side of it, because of the history of police, and that's in just about every urban city in the United States, should that still stop you from calling the police? Let's get more into the cons. So, we also know that when a black man or a brown man is arrested, as history has shown, that it's not stacked, it's not leveled equally, right? So you may have a young man that gets arrested for a joint. Black man. A young white man may get probation. Whereas back then, black man get 5 years worth in prison. Not even for an ounce of weed. Now, these policies that was implemented back in the days made a lot of us hate police. But what that also did was it made us become more embedded in our own community And we didn't want to deal with the police because we knew what that bring. Because keep in mind too, whether you was a law-abiding citizen, you was still getting harassed on some cases just because you was just this black man or this brown man or woman. So the idea of helping them out or helping them do their job and causing more pain on our community, you didn't want to be affiliated with that. Now, also with that is you being affiliated with that. What does that do for you in your standing in the community? It doesn't sit well. So, what happens is, if you really sit back and you think about it, with the con of it all, our community is in a disarray. I mean, think about it. First generation homeowners back in the 1920s and 30s in black communities, the grass was always cut, the community was clean, people took pride in their lawn, they took pride in their neighborhood, they took pride in their cars. But then once that generation started to die off, then you got second, and then you get to the third generation that's owning that same home or still staying in that same home. They either lose the property, not keeping up with the manicuring of the lawn, and then they're losing the house. Then now you have all these houses that's been torn down because either they're getting burned down or they're just vacant. People coming up in there, breaking up in there, stealing wiring, copper, and all that. And so now it's depleting and taking away from community even more. And these are part of the cons. And you got to think about the cause and effect of that word snitching. It's not an honor system if you really think about it, you know. But again, this is the con and the effects of the con on that word snitching. So what does it also do when you think about the cons of things? It increases black on black crime. Think about this. How often do you hear about black on white crime? It's very rare because it seems like these black mofos are scared to go out and harass or do something to them because they don't want the time or something. I don't know what the heck it is, but that's what it seems to be. But when you look up in our community and when you think about the different races or different ethnic groups, let's just go with black on black and white on white. Is the percentage higher on white crime, or is it higher on black crime? Maybe it is higher on white. They just not reporting it as much. I know now you have a lot of these mass gun shootings and everything like that. But let me tell you, they're snitching. They tell it about that sucker if they find them. But that's part of the con stuff too, because we're not helping to improve our community by keeping these same negative elements within our community. So that's a con as well. But let's go into the pros. So the pros of snitching. You don't have to worry about crime being high in your community. You don't have to worry about let me pause this. So, what are the pros of the word snitch? I mean, the word snitch just sounds so condescending, just sounds so nasty. I mean, when you just use the word snitch, it just sounds so bad. But what are the pros for, let's not even say snitch, for telling about things that you see that's going wrong in your community? How about that? property value goes up because crime goes down. Taking charge of your community. When you have these different community activist leaders being more involved, so you're decreasing all these different negative elements. You're able to bring in more businesses, more positive companies in your community when you get more involved in ridding certain elements out of your community. Why am I targeted or shunned? Because I feel like I don't like this in my community. I like the idea of being able to go to the store and not have to worry about getting my head cracked by someone. Now, we can also look at it like this too. We don't have a lot of different resources to help give a lot of our men and our women certain trainings that they need, whether it's vocational or whatever. We do need to provide certain tools for them to be able to use to be able to get good jobs, and not even just jobs, get careers, And so maybe with that also will help being part of the pros to reduce the crimes that we have now. Okay, let's pivot. Let's talk about something that's recent, like a rapper by the name of Young Gunna. Okay, so he's part of an organization, and he was picked up with a lot of members from his affiliation. I'm not gonna get into saying names and stuff like that, but I'm just using the name Gunna because a lot of you young folks know who this is. But I'm not gonna, like I said, mention the organization. So get picked up. He's later released because it said that he made a deal, and now he's being labeled as a snitch. That's one. 6ix9ine. Okay. War Wires said that he also snitched on people that was in his crew just so he could get a lighter sentence. The question I'm asking is, wouldn't you do that? Now, there's a lot of you out there that be like, "Oh man, that's bullshit. No, I ain't no snitch. I'm a G. Okay." The same people that's over there saying all that bullshit, they'll snitch on you in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Okay? You think that that's your buddy. You think that, okay, this is my brother. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the same month, but it's my bro. He's reliable. He's trustworthy. Be the same one that when you facing a RICO charge and he thinking about them years that he got coming, he gonna turn your ass in quick. And he ain't gonna see it as snitching. He gonna look at it as survival. That's what it is for him, survival. Now, am I saying that's right? No. Am I saying it's wrong? No. But I do believe, like the words in the song with Kojak, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. So in some aspect, I guess I do disagree with the snitching part of it, because hey, you decided you want to get into it, so you knew what comes with it. And if y'all made a pact and y'all said, look, if I go down, I ain't saying nothing, just take care of my family, take care of my commissary, make sure I'm straight, I'm gonna go ahead and complete the bit, and you just do what you gotta do out here, right? Some can honor it, but in most cases, and don't let these little young fools fool you. They try to act like they got heart, but a lot of them don't have heart. A lot of them they be a co-defendant, and they will turn on you in a minute. Next thing you know, y'all not on the same court docket because he put in a motion to get y'all separated. He have his own court date. Signs, okay. That's right, your brother from another mother then took a plea deal, and now your ass gonna get 30 years while they only get about 4.5 years or whatever, and you gone. Because you believed in the code. You didn't snitch. At the end of the day, when you think about it, the word snitch is linked to integrity. I got respect for anyone that can sit in front of a prosecuting attorney and they offer you severely less time, and all you have to do is tell them what they want to know, and you say hell no. Now, do I have respect for you because you're not a snitch? No, it's not that. It's just that to know that you're willing to give up so much, possibly not seeing your kids graduate from 8th grade, from college, get married, parents, family members passing off, passing away. You willing to give up so much and miss so many things just so you can have that honor code. For some little young 19-year-old CO to tell you what time you got to get up, what time to go to bed. You're a bad mother. So, what is snitching to you? Is it a bad thing? Is it something that you value, not being a snitch? I would like to know, what's your thought upon snitching? Again, this show right here isn't to put those down who actually do go out there and snitch, or to give kudos to those who don't snitch. I mean, it's just dealing with that one word in this community that has been hanging over our heads for years. Even though we know that we have people in our community that don't give a damn about you, that will try to hurt you, that will steal from you, that will cause harm to you. You still have some of those that rather to deal with it than to tell law enforcement officers, because they have a code. But the question is, should they have a code? Should that code be enforced on every minority person living in that community, living in that environment? Should they have to tolerate that lifestyle? Now, I'd be willing to tolerate it if I'm able to go back to the Wild Wild West and do what I got to do to protect mine. But we live in a civil community, a civil environment. And part of that civil environment is law enforcement. It's their job to serve and protect. I know some abuse those powers, and I know that some has really done some horrible things in the black community. But does that still warrant you not to tell if you see something that's going on in your community? That's the question that I have. And that's what this topic, snitch, is all about. Posing a question, pros and cons of that particular word, snitch. So you probably say, yo, Unc, I'm gonna ask you a question. Would you snitch? I'm gonna put it to you like this. I'm not a snitch, okay? That's not something I do. I'm not cut like that. What I am cut like is this. if you do something to somebody I love, a family member or a friend, a neighbor, and I see you do it, and I can't invoke the stand the ground law on you, I'm gonna call the police, and I'm gonna give them a description. If I know who you are, I'm gonna tell them where you stay, what's your favorite color, all that shit. That's what I'm gonna do. I know what you're saying. You're saying, but you said that you don't snitch. No, because that's not snitching. In my book, I'm not a snitch. I'm a tax-paying citizen that's looking out for my community. And me doing so is going to benefit people within my community. It's going to help them to be safe. It's going to help me to feel safe. So I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in into this week's episode of That's My Word podcast. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think about this title, Snitch, as well as my position up on it. And then let me know what your position on the word snitch is. I think it's a great conversation starter. And don't forget, click the link and hit that alert button to, keep you up to date. It'll let you know when I'm dropping new content on this channel. So, again, thank you. Uncle Will signing off until next time. Deuces.